Welcome back, friends. I'm Yvonne Davis, your traveling warrior astrologer. And today I'm making a video about the Aquarius New Moon, and that's coming up on January 29th. Now, this one is super interesting because it's got a number of things going on all at the same time. One is that it's trining Jupiter in Gemini, just about to station direct. So Jupiter is super powerful right now. So that trine, that air trine to the Aquarius new moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius, in its trine to the super powerful Jupiter, because it's building up energy as it gets ready to station direct, is extremely beneficial. That's the first thing I want to say about this Aquarius new moon. The second thing is that there is a stellium in Aquarius because we have 5 celestial bodies in Aquarius. We have the sun and the moon, which, conjunct makes the new moon. And then we also have Pluto and Mercury and the asteroid Ceres, all there in Aquarius at the same time. That forms a stellium. And 3 of those planets will make exact trines to Jupiter. And then later, when Jupiter is direct, it will also make a trine to Ceres. Okay. So those 2 houses in your chart are forming these really powerful, beneficial trines. So those are the most important things to know about it to start off. Okay. But then we've got something else going on with Venus and Mercury. That's the fact that Venus starts her retrograde shadow at the same time as this Aquarius new moon. Okay. So that means that these 2 events are actually linked together. And in fact, they're linked together in more ways than just that. So what happens is that Venus enters her shadow at the same time as the new moon eclipse at 9 degrees. She goes through the rest of the way through Pisces. She conjoins Neptune and the North Node. She goes into Aries and she stations to retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries on March 1st. Okay. So that whole time in February, we're getting this effect of the new moon eclipse and then later the full moon. But the whole time, Venus is in her shadow, setting up a situation that will come to fruition during the retrograde phase. Okay, so this is all tied together. It's not like the only part that matters is the retrograde. The lead up to the retrograde is important as well. So this is when the situation is getting set up with this new moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees of Aquarius. I keep saying 9 degrees because there's another reason why that matters, which is not just that Venus stations at 10 degrees of Aries, which is obviously very close to that 9 degrees, but also that the final eclipse in Aries is at 9 degrees of Aries. So those 2, the 9 degrees of Aquarius, the 9 degrees of Aries, which is the last one in that 9 degree series, and 9 degrees of Pisces, will hit that 9 degrees every time. But the final one, which is an eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries, is basically the same degree where Venus is stationing to go retrograde, which means that she crosses over that 9 degrees of Aries 3 times. And that's where she stations to go retrograde. So she hits it the first time, then she stops, she retrogrades over it, and then again direct when she finishes and exits her shadow in late April. So this is super important because that degree is getting hit so many times through the new moon in Aquarius, the new moon in Pisces, and then the final eclipse in Aries, where Venus stations to retrograde on March 1st, and also where Mercury stations to retrograde. So we have 2 inner planets and a final new moon eclipse, all stationing at the same degree. And not only that, but Venus and Mercury conjoined at that degree, the same degree where the final eclipse will be, and where both of those planets station retrograde. It's like, if you know anything about astrology, you know that something incredibly powerful and life-changing is getting set up with this new moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees, trining Jupiter, the great benefic, just about ready to station direct. Super, super powerful. I think this is a good luck charm. I think it's going to bring change, something that, is life-changing. It's not just your average everyday kind of change. This is life-changing. And it's explosively life-changing when it hits that degree in Aries, okay? The final new moon eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries, Venus stationing retrograde there in Aries, Mercury stationing retrograde there in Aries, and Venus and Mercury conjoining at that degree in Aries. It's phenomenal. And it's all getting set up with this Aquarian new moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius, trining Jupiter, just about ready to go direct. It's phenomenal. So we're looking at basically 3 months between now, when this new moon happens on January 29th, the end of January, all through February. Venus goes retrograde on March 1st, all through March, and then basically pretty much all through April as well, for all of the shadows to complete. Okay, so 3 months is not a very long time for something that will be absolutely life-changing. And I actually think you're really going to like it. It may be difficult to get there because interplanet retrogrades are always pretty difficult. We've got Mars still retrograde. It will station direct on February 23rd. So from the time of that new moon in Aquarius, it's really only, 3 to 4 weeks, not that much longer until Mars goes direct. Jupiter will go direct in early February. I think it's actually February 4th, so we don't have to wait very long for that. And then we got to get through the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde. And yes, retrogrades, especially interplanet retrogrades, can be difficult. And that's normal. Change is always difficult. But in the end, it will bring something that will be so much better, so much better. And I think we can really trust that when we see just these degrees that it's landing on, the trines, the sextile, especially when we're looking at Jupiter, the great benefic, and Venus, the lesser benefic. They will bring something good in the end. We just have to get through the difficult part of the change, okay? But that's only 3 months, and then it'll be completely different, and it'll be so much better. I know you will like it. So if you want to know how this is going to impact your chart in particular, you can check out the link below. I'm still doing my special, so that can cover anything you want, love, relationships, work, career, money, finances, where you're living. If you want to move, will you relocate? If you want to buy or sell real estate, if you're looking at your health, what is your health going to be like? Is it going to improve? Just any area of life that you're looking at. And also to find out where these specific events are happening in your chart. So go ahead and check out the link. It's only $99 for a reading, or you can join me on Patreon, which is only $5 a month, and you get access to the live Zoom meetings. So I hope you'll check it out, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.